Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 98 by Senator Bell relative to developmental services.
Senator Bell.
Mr. President, members, I rise to present Senate Concurrent Resolution 98. This recognizes 2016 as the 50th anniversary of California's community-based developmental services system. 50 years ago, California enacted a new public-private partnership by establishing community-based service providers to improve the quality of life for individuals with developmental disabilities. Community-based providers offer an array of services to meet the unique needs of every individual with a developmental disability, and doing so at significant cost savings to the state when compared to the cost of institutional care. This resolution honors the 50th anniversary of a life-changing way of serving people with developmental disabilities and reaffirms the legislators' commitment to defend and support the community-based developmental services systems. Regional centers and service providers and the entire developmental disabilities community will be celebrating the anniversary all this year, so look forward to events with your constituents. I respectfully ask for an aye vote, and I will introduce several advocates to the Senate floor after the vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Bell. Debate or discussion? Senator Fuller.
Mr. President, members and guests, I rise today in support of SCR 98, which recognizes the 50th anniversary of the establishment of community-based services for the developmentally disabled in California. Taking care of the most vulnerable members of our community should not be a partisan issue. As a former school superintendent, I know that for a fact and have worked with these centers. We need to keep the promise made under the Latterman Developmental Disability Services Act. Unfortunately, years of underfunding have reduced services and threatened the sustainability of the system for developmentally disabled communities in California. In my hometown, the Bakersfield ARC has been so severely impacted by budget cuts that 2 programs affecting nearly 24 employees and more than 100 clients will shut their doors on January 31st. This is a program that I personally have worked with and have known the graduates, the employees, and the directors. The two programs shutting down are Bark on the Move and Bark Packaging. Bark on the Move helps the disabled clients to be more active by doing things like sitting upright, walking, and interacting with others, while Bark Packaging provides jobs for their clients where they make labels, assemble brochures, or pack boxes. We may take these actions for granted, but these programs allow and help their clients live a more fulfilling life. Last year, Senate Republicans introduced 2 bills during the health care extraordinary session that would have helped restore funding to our regional centers. Unfortunately, neither of these 2 bills was granted even a hearing. Senate Republicans are here to speak for justice. While SCR 98 calls attention to the developmentally disabled community, we need to do more. I stand before you and urge an aye. Vote for SCR 98. Take this opportunity to help find a common solution and visit your ARC centers. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Fuller. Senator Monning.
Thank you, Mr. President. I, too, stand in support of SCR 98. I want to thank my colleague from Santa Clara County for his leadership, and especially thank our regional centers, the many providers and families who have proven what started as an experiment to be a tremendous success of community-based housing. And glad that this year, with our passage of the MCO tax, we are able to guarantee a much-needed increase to the services in the regional centers. Members, I urge and I vote.
Thank you, Senator Monning. Pro Tem De Leon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Obviously, we're welcoming our newest and youngest senator, that's Senator McHale, that's right here.
Yes, welcome.
And I, too, rise in support of Senate Concurrent Resolution number 98. It is a testament to the individuals here who Senator Jim Bell will be presenting in a few moments after we have the vote on Senate Concurrent Resolution number 98, but it's with actions. It's with actions and real votes that we're able to move forward policies that impact in a positive way, in a very positive way, the lives of young men and women and young children such as Mikhail. And that's why I'm very proud to stand up in support of this measure, knowing that we did this in a bipartisan fashion last week. And again, I want to just reiterate because one of the members was absent, and that is a senator from San Gabriel Valley who, through his leadership, stood up tall and strong, because without that type of leadership, the resources never materialize and come to fruition. So it's about action and real votes. So with that, I stand up in support of Senate Concurrent Resolution number 98.
Thank you, Senator De Leon. Senator Bell, would you like to close?
Mr. President, members, please help me welcome several advocates and supporters and guests for our community-based regional centers. We have Phil Bonet, Executive Director of the Alta Vista, Alta California Regional Center. Joe Meadors, Advocacy Trainer with People First California. Tony Anderson, Executive Director of the ARC of California. Daniel Savino, Legislative Coordinator for the Association of Regional Center Agencies. Eileen Ritchie, Executive Director of ARCA. Ann Struthers, President of ARCA. And Rick Rowlands, Legislative Advisor to ARCA. And Rick's the father of Russell, who has autism, who has have served in the Regional Center since Russell was 22 months old. And I'd like to point out, Rick is the former Secretary of the California Senate in the past service. Regina Marshall, and we all know Mikhail Marshall. Let's give them a big round of applause, folks.
Yay.
Hey! Give them a big round.
Looks like we have a vocal future senator there. Members, is there any objection to unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 38, noes 0 to the concurrence. The resolution is adopted. Thank you. Okay, members, we're going to go ahead and move ahead if we could. Messages from the governor will be deemed read. Messages from the assembly will be deemed read. Reports of committee will be deemed read and amendments adopted. Motions, resolutions, and notices. Members, without objection, Joint Rule 62A will be waived for the Budget and Fiscal Review Committee to hear AB 818 and have an informal hearing, AB 118, excuse me, and have an informal hearing without 4 days' notice in the daily file. This is an informational hearing. Members, under motions, resolutions, and notices, Senator Morlock.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to move item number 55 to the inactive file.
So deemed. The desk will notice. Thank you. Okay, members, we're now going to move forward to consideration of the daily file. Second reading file. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 915 with amendments.
All right. Thank you. Governor's appointments. Pro Tem De Leon. Okay, we will move forward. We can come back to that. Would you like to bring that up, Pro Tem De Leon? This is file item 41, Governor's appointment. Secretary, please read. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, we have two appointments before us. We have Paula Daniels as well as Maria Herrera. Paula Daniels is an attorney who has taught and lectured on the issues of environmental sustainability. Maria Herrera is a community development specialist from the Central Valley of Visalia. She grew up in the community that doesn't have safe drinking water and is focused on bringing solutions that will benefit all Californians, but especially those who have been deprived in the Central Valley. Both individuals, Ms. Daniels as well as Ms. Herrera, have received a bipartisan support. Therefore, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Great. Thank you, Pro Tem De Leon. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. I. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. I. Fuller. I. Gaines. I. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Wesso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. I. Lara. Leno. I. Leba. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. Mitchell. I. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nilsson. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Secretary, please call the absent members.
Lara. Mendoza. Nilsson. Runner.
Ayes 36, no 0. The appointments are confirmed. Members, we're now going to move to Senate third reading. File item 44, Senator Nielsen, not at his desk. File item 45, Senator Mendoza, not at his desk. File item 46, Senator Fuller, pass on file. File item 47, Senator McGuire, pass on file. All right. Now we're going to move to file item 49, Senator Nguyen, pass on file. File item 50, Senator Fuller, pass on file. 51 also pass on file for Senator Fuller. File item 52, Senator Liu, pass on file. File item 53, Senator Mendoza, not at his desk, pass on file. Senator Jackson, file item 54. Secretary, please read.
Senate Resolution 64 by Senator Jackson relative to Women's History Month.
Senator Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, as you know, March is Women's History Month, and today we certainly have seen some of the extraordinary women who continue to honor our community and our state with their extraordinary work. This particular recognition is for the history of women who have preceded us, and this resolution honors those contributions by proclaiming this to be March as Women's History Month. American women of every culture, class, and ethnic background have participated in the founding and the building of our nation. They've made historic contributions to the growth and the strength of our nation and our state, and they played a critical role in shaping the economic, cultural, and social fabric of our society. Women have been the leaders in every movement for social change, including our own movement for suffrage and equal rights, the fight for emancipation, the struggle to organize labor unions, as well as the civil rights movement. Women's History Month is not only a call to acknowledge the outstanding American women whose names we know, names such as Sacagawea, Harriet Tubman, Alice Paul, Elizabeth Roosevelt, and Rosa Parks, but we also need to pay homage to the many women who have anonymously shaped our collective past. Women's history is a rich part of our common heritage, a story of gallantry and devotion to the belief that opportunity for complete human dignity should not be denied to one half of the state and our nation. And with that, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Jackson. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none, members, would there be any objection to using a unanimous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 37, no 0. Resolution passes. All right, thank you. Members, we're now going to move to file item 55. Senator Morlock, would you like to? Oh, it's inactive. I'm sorry, you told me that. Okay. Okay, members, we're going to move to Assembly third reading, file items 59 and 60. Starting with file item 59, Senator Jackson, Secretary, please read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 132 by Assemblymember Atkins relative to V-Day.
Senator Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of Assemblymember Atkins, I rise today to seek your support for ACR 132. Please join me in supporting this measure, which declared February 14th, some might know as Valentine's Day, as V-Day. On February 14th, 1998, Eve Ensler, the writer of the acclaimed play The Vagina Monologues, established the first V-Day to raise awareness about violence against women and girls. On V-Day, groups around the world will perform the Vagina Monologues, and the proceeds go to local programs that support victims of violence and rape. V-Day has raised more than $100 million, taken place in over 200 countries, benefited 13,000 communities, anti-violence programs, and its message has reached more than 1 billion people around the globe. V-Day is about more than performing a play. It is about ending violence against women and ending the stigma about speaking up against that violence. Domestic abuse and rape harm people from all communities, regardless of economic status, gender, or race, and it impacts the communities in which we all live and all represent. The United Nations found that around the world, 1 in 3 women will face physical or sexual violence in her lifetime. I ask for your aye vote on this resolution that recognizes the successful efforts of V-Day and continues to raise awareness about the implications and tragedies associated with violence against women. With that, I would urge your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Jackson. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none, members, any objection to a unanimous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 36, no 0. Resolution passes. Members, we're now moved to file item 60. Senator Monning, Secretary, please read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 126 by Assemblymember Ting relative to a Day of Remembrance.
Senator Monning.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, ACR 126 proclaims February 19th as a day of remembrance to increase the public's awareness about the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II. In 1942, more than 120,000 Japanese Americans were forced to abandon their homes and livelihoods and relocate to 10 internment camps throughout the United States. Despite this injustice and their families being kept behind barbed wire, approximately 33,000 men of Japanese ancestry fought for our country in World War II. A majority of these men in one of the most decorated and distinguished military regiments in U.S. history. Given some of the intolerant rhetoric we are hearing today, ACR 126 reminds us about the injustice that can occur when prejudice is exercised by those in power, and I respectfully ask for your support of this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Monning. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none, would there be any objection to unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 37, no 0, resolution passes. Members, that completes the Assembly third reading. We'll now move to and return to motions and resolutions, starting with Senator Fuller, in reference to an adjourned memory to Nancy Reagan.
Will my guests please come to the back? Mr. President and members, I rise today in memory of our former First Lady, Nancy Reagan. During challenging times, First Lady Nancy Reagan brought grace and dignity to our state and our nation. Mrs. Reagan was a devoted wife to President Ronald Reagan, a living embodiment of a happily ever after Hollywood love story. Mrs. Reagan also was a loyal and astute advisor who shaped President Reagan's legacy. For instance, Mrs. Reagan urged her husband to reach out to Soviet General Secretary Mikhail Gorbachev. It was the first step in one of the most iconic achievements that can be credited to the Reagan presidency, the tearing down of the Berlin Wall. But Mrs. Reagan is best known for her unwavering loyalty to her husband. Ronald and Nancy Reagan had what was once described as possibly the greatest love affair in the history of the American presidency. She is often credited with being the black backbone of her husband's administration and the Reagan legacy. Mrs. Reagan's devotion to her husband continued long after they left the White House, as she bravely cared for him throughout his battle with Alzheimer's. While we are saddened by our loss of this extraordinary woman, we can be comforted that she is once again reunited with her beloved husband, best friend, and inspiration. She was indeed a remarkable woman, and her many contributions to our country will not be forgotten. My thoughts and prayers are with her family as they mourn her loss. Joining us today is Dennis Ravel, Mrs. Reagan's son-in-law, and Dennis LeBlanc, volunteer and longtime assistant to President Reagan. Both of them have spent some time with me today to tell me some of the stories, the personal moments of their time with him, and I felt a part of history to hear them. We have some other members who would like to speak, and after they do, on behalf of the California State Senate, we would like to present a memorial resolution honoring the life and legacy of Mrs. Nancy Reagan. To Dennis Ravel.
Thank you, Senator Fuller. Debate or discussion, Senator Allen.
I want to rise also to support this motion to adjourn in memory of my constituent, Nancy Davis, Nancy Reagan, who loved Southern California deeply. And I'd just like to share a little story about how she and President Reagan met. She was a young actress who had come out to the West Coast, and it so happened that her name, she shared the same name with someone who was on the communist sympathizers list. And she actually reached out to her union president, the Screen Actors Guild president at the time, Ronald Reagan, for support in assisting her with this situation. This was in 1949. They got together for lunch at LaRue Restaurant on Sunset Boulevard on the Sunset Strip, which had only 4 years earlier been investigated by the federal government for violating the meat rationing laws under World War II, which of course was, because it was a very nice restaurant on the Strip. But they hit it off, and thus started this fairy tale romance, this extraordinary love affair that shaped global history. And she was a very steady presence in my district. She was an active community member, philanthropist, very engaged in charity, and much beloved by so many people in the Bel Air and Pacific Palisades and Hollywood communities. I also want to say a special thank you to all the folks in the Santa Monica Police Department, Gates Kingsley Gates, which was the funeral hall that started the procession of both for Nancy and also for Ronald Reagan up to the library in Simi Valley. There was a lot of law enforcement and folks from our public agencies who worked really hard to make that funeral day on Friday such a special day for so many people. It was an extraordinary thing to see so many leaders from both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans, first ladies, so many figures from our modern American history come together to celebrate in bipartisan fashion this extraordinary Angelino, this extraordinary Californian who we hope now will rest in peace.
Thank you, Senator Allen. Senator Huff.
Thank you, Madam President and members. I rise today in memory of Nancy Reagan, who's known for bringing a sense of Hollywood elegance back to the White House, serving the office of First Lady with distinction. It's impossible to think of Nancy Reagan and not remember the legacy of Ronald Reagan because she was so intertwined with that legacy. Michael Deaver, longtime aide and close friend of the Reagans, once said, "Without Nancy, there would have been no Governor Reagan, no President Reagan." She had a keen political sense with a great judge of character, known to be quite a force behind the scenes. Ronald Reagan and Nancy were the perfect pair, photographed so often holding hands wherever they went. President Reagan publicly spoke of his admiration and devotion to Nancy. His love letters to Nancy were astonishingly romantic, and the love between the two never died. Years later, after her husband's death, the pain of losing the love of her life never once left her. In 2009, an interview with Vanity Fair, she revealed that she still missed her Ronnie. "People say it gets better," she told the interviewer. "No, it does not." From her work on drug abuse programs and her signature line of "Just Say No," she worked tirelessly for causes she believed in. And her husband's death due to a hard-fought battle with Alzheimer's disease, Nancy raised millions of dollars for Alzheimer's disease research. The passing of Nancy Reagan means the passing of an era. For those of us who miss President Reagan's leadership, his beloved wife Nancy was the last and best connection we had to the greatest president of our lifetime. She will be missed, but not at all forgotten, as the Reagan Library she worked so diligently to preserve remains a testament to his presidency and the legacy in public office that they shared.
Thank you, Senator Huff. Senator Gaines.
Thank you, Madam President. As we all know in this chapter, politics is hardly a 9-to-5 job. It doesn't make you rich. It's not a good business for anyone who wants to be loved by everybody. It should be no surprise then that Nancy Reagan was reluctant to sacrifice the adulation and riches of Hollywood for a world of budget committees and bill signings. But it's a great testament to her character and to the love she had for her husband that when he committed himself to being a leader, she never had a stronger, more faithful advocate than Nancy Reagan. She was a graceful first lady. On her own, she tackled the scourge of drug use in America. Together, she and President Reagan served as a shining example of how a beautiful and loving marriage can be the bedrock for a fulfilling life. I am saddened by her passing, and I know that she will be missed by the many people she helped and inspired during her rich life. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family and her son-in-law, Dennis Revelle. And I just want to thank Dennis for also everything that you've done within our community. And it's always been a cherished moment to be in your home where you had dozens and dozens of beautiful photographs of the Reagan legacy and how you're even giving back within our community in Placer County and helping hold the Republican Party together. So I appreciate the peace that you've brought to the Republican Party. And it's just, I think, a testament of a great family that has served our nation and our community. Thank you.